Hello guys, welcome to 6th lecture of a Cursor for Beginner series, and in this video I'll tell you about my tips and tricks that I use while building an application or a website or a proof of concept in Cursor. Okay, so let's start. So the first thing is always start with a plan. So usually I don't straight away jump into Cursor and start building something, but usually what I do is go to ChatGPT and ask for a step-by-step roadmap. So basically it gives me an execution plan which I can follow in order to build with Cursor. And also I brainstorm with ChatGPT for like half an hour or 45 minutes into something that I'm trying to build, right? So the main reason I do this is basically it aligns my expectations, and also there is not a guy standing there, so not always it can ask you the right questions. It's AI, right? So you should make sure that still treat it like a machine, and basically you get your requirements as clear as possible at the start and then feed that thing to the machine or the AI to build your project. And it reduce rework also, right? So basically if the AI hallucinated and then basically it went in some other direction while you wanted to build this but it was not in the requirements, then what will happen is basically you will again have to rework on that thing, right? So this roadmap is kind of ensures that you don't fall into these problems. Okay, so let me go to ChatGPT, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new chat, right? And what you can do is basically, let's say I want to build a library management system, right? So this is how you can give some prompt, and then basically you can say give me a step-by-step roadmap for this, right? So once you give this prompt to ChatGPT, what it will do, it will basically analyze and see like what all library management has been built. And basically now what you want to do, you are asking ChatGPT to create a plan for this. Once it creates a plan for this, then basically you can iterate or work with ChatGPT to kind of maybe add this feature. Maybe you don't need this feature. Maybe you need this kind of auth. Maybe you don't need this kind of auth. So these are things you can work with ChatGPT while chatting, right? And generate the plan and requirements accordingly. Right. So once the roadmap is created, then what you should do is, and once you have discussed with ChatGPT for like those 30-45 minutes, cleared your requirements, then what should ask ChatGPT to give me a plan that I can put it inside Cursor for it to execute, right? So this is what it is doing, and let's quickly go through this. Let it generate for some time, and then we will see that how we can import or basically take this and work inside the Cursor. Okay. So let it do its thing. It's fine. Okay, so this is what ChatGPT has generated for us. So what we can do is actually, this is a lot of stuff. So I'm going to just say that, hey, just create a new readme.md file with this points above, right? So usually what you do is basically you go through all those things that ChatGPT has written for you, and you work with it to refine these requirements as per your needs, right? So because we had a very general prompt that we want to build a library management system, but it could be that ChatGPT had assumed something else and you wanted to build something else, right? So based on that, you talk with it and refine these requirements. We are not going to do that in this one because this is more of a demo kind of a thing. And then what you do is basically just say, hey, just create a new readme file with these points above, and let's just enter. Okay. So once it does that, let it do its thing. So once it does this, what you can do is basically either copy all this or you can download it. Let me download this. So I'll download it as an MD file, right? So this is what we wanted, library system roadmap.md file. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to Cursor, right? And then we are going to open a project. In our desktop, we are going to say library management system, right? This is what you want to create, and then we'll say open. Okay, then inside this, what we're going to do is we are going to we will open our readme file, library management system file here. So we're going to go to Revision Finder, and then we can go to downloads, and we can copy this file, right? And we can go back to our editor and paste it here. We'll say yes, allow the paste. Okay, and this is what we want to do. This is the file that we want to do, and we can just copy this and add it to our agent mode, or add it to our AI pan, and press Command L, and this is what it has added here. And all you have to say here, hey, let's start implementing this. So this is what I wanted to tell you about. You can press let's start implementing this and start enter, and then what will happen is basically your plan is ready, and now cursor has the exact plan. It has a lot of context that this is how it wanted to start your project. We will not do that, right? This is just about my tips and tricks. In the next video, we'll actually go about building some projects. So in this video, I just want to talk about the tips and tricks that I generally follow. Okay. So next part is basically the chat mode. We know that we have worked with, one is agent mode, one is ask mode. Agent mode, when you want to do a lot of project wide things, or maybe something that goes through multiple files before building something. That is what agent mode is. Ask mode is basically for Q&A and explanations, right? We have already done this. The third part is adding context before asking, right? So we have seen these things, right? In this also, if we didn't have the context, right? Let's say if we didn't have this, and we'll just say cursor, let's start building a library management system. It doesn't have a lot of context. It doesn't have a lot of plan, right? So what happens is when we say this, like when we say this and add as a context here, my cursor has a lot of context. My cursor has a lot of picture that this is how I'm going to start doing things. What happens with that is basically the AI performs better with the whole picture. This is what happens, right? Someone is doing the job for you. If you give him the clear picture, if you give him the clear requirements, and the person is capable, is skillful, then he can do that job, right? If he is not capable, is not skillful, then obviously he's going to mess up. But if you're not giving him the correct requirements, then definitely, even if he's very skillful, he's going to mess up that job. Okay, so context is basically fewer retries, and it basically gives you smart answers. This is what AI is actually, right? Okay, always review, like review changes before accepting, right? For example, let's say we say this to cursor, and let's start implementing this. Let's see what cursor does for us. So it is going to scan through all the files and planning, project initialization, and all those kinds of stuff. Then what we'll do, basically, as we have seen before, doing some projects in cursor, what happens is cursor asks you to review these changes, or maybe review all of them at once, or basically if you want to keep all or undo changes, whatever you want, right? But the interesting thing is basically, and the main thing here is that basically you should review it. You should review everything. You should know everything what AI is doing for you. So in this case, for example, you can see this, that these are the to-dos that cursor has come up with. Initialize monorepo structure based on the requirements that we have given to cursor. Scaffold this app, create Fastify task script API in apps API, initialize Prisma in packages DB, add Docker Compose with Postgres and services wiring. And then cursor is saying that, hey, I'm gonna do this. Are you following me? Can I do this? Should I run this? And then if you click it, basically you are saying that, okay, I agree with this, and I know what you're doing, so I'm saying okay. And this is where cursor is like waiting for approval and all, right? So basically the point is you should always review changes what cursor is doing. Okay, so let's run this for it once, and we'll say yes, I have reviewed it. Runs this, run this. Yes, I have reviewed this. Run, right? Review this. Yes, run. So we are doing a lot of things, but not reviewing everything, but you should review each and everything, like what cursor is doing, and this is how you can learn very fast as well, right? So cursor has initialized monorepo structure and something which we kind of generated from a plan. We'll say run this. So not gonna go much into here, but yeah, always review changes before accepting what AI is doing for you. Git integration from the start. This is very important, right? So what is happening here is, like, let's say let it do its first thing, right? Basically this is like setting up the project now. So I'm going to just say run, and we will, like, there are 5 steps that it kind of organized, right? Actually at every step you should have initialize Git repo, but it's fine. So once this part is done, we will show you like how you can initialize Git repo inside this. Okay, so is it done? I think some deprecated the work that was in this beta branch won't be included in future version. Whatever is fine. We are not worried about it. We don't. That's the plan that we had behind vibe coding, right? We should not deep into a lot of this technical stuff, but should be able to build a lot of stuff. Okay, so at this point of time, what I'll do is I'll go to this one. I'll initialize the repository, and I'll just say first set up this feature, right? And then basically I'll commit this. There are no stage changes to commit. Would you like to stage? Or yeah, we should always stage changes, and we'll say yes, and then I'll commit those changes. And let's see if it's actually able to commit, and it is actually able to commit it right here. So this is how you can also have a version control system right here, right? So basically what it means is basically till now whatever changes are done is now we have a snapshot of this. You can see it here, right? So this is how you should do. And the part we told about is basically you should have Git integration from the start, or basically whatever version control system you're using. Next is basically we can organize with chat tabs, right? So basically right now we are doing everything in one chat because this is the first thing that Cursor is doing for us, those 5 steps. But usually once let's say those 5 steps are done, then what you will do, you can start a new agent chat, and there you can say, hey, let's start building maybe add it from here, or you can go to this agents and create a new agent as well. And maybe this can be your auth feature, and you can build your auth feature here, right? But let's set up the project first, and then you should go to the auth feature. Okay, so this basically means that the more tabs, the more clear the picture, and then you don't have to scroll a lot as well. This is also very important, right? And make small requests as well, like 1 request per prompt is equal to better responses. And always you do this, right? Stay in editor with the terminal. What it means is basically if you are having some editor things that you are terminal things that you are doing, do it inside editor. Then what can happen, you can just select it and then add it to your add it to your AI panel, right? And then ask him to kind of fix things for you, or maybe run this for you, and this is the error I'm getting, hey, I can fix it for me, right? So it's asking, waiting for approval. This dot is kind of bothering me, so I'll just run it. Okay, so this is that, and this is for this video. This is where I wanted to share some tips and tricks on how I go about building my MVPs or POCs or full stack apps or websites. Yes, sometimes my main time gets spent on like how much time I spend with ChatGPT to refine my requirements and plans, and then I go about building it, right? So that's it for this video, guys. Very interesting. And then in the next video, this is where we are done with our Cursor for Beginners course. So congratulations. And the next video we'll build some projects. See you soon. Bye.